Lesson 4, Unit 6, Evaluating and Improving. For a PMIS to be an effective system, it needs to go through periodic reviews necessary to maintain its quality and effectiveness. Evaluating the system can occur at any time or during the project evaluations. The process to evaluate the PMIS needs to be inclusive and use the feedback from information users as a first step to identify improvements. The main goal of evaluating the PMIS is to check on whether or not the system is providing the information needed by the project stakeholders. To maintain the effectiveness of the system, the project will need to make periodic reviews through the life of the system. The evaluation is a validation of the system, and it's an opportunity to review the process with other project stakeholders. As part of the validation, the project will need to answer the following questions. Does the project team understand the use and purpose of the PMIS? Is the information requested being collected correctly? And does the information reach stakeholders? And is the information used as intended? By evaluating the process, the project should look at areas where the process has bottlenecks or areas where the information takes too much time to process, whether it is collecting or distribution. The project can start by looking at all the components of the information process to identify the areas that might need improvement. Here are some questions that can be asked in the first 3 steps of the process. Evaluate the process to identify needs. Have all needs been identified? Are there any needs that are unaccounted for? Evaluate the process to locate information. Have new sources of information been discovered? Are the original sources still available? Evaluate the process to select the information. Is information still relevant, significant, useful, accurate, and credible, and even cost-effective? And does the project need to select other sources? Evaluate the process to collect information. Is the volume information too large to manage? Are the methods and techniques to collect information still valid? And is there a need to change the frequency, format, and responsibilities to collect information? Evaluate the process to organize and store the information. Is there a need to change the methods and tools to organize and store information? And has the security information been compromised in any way or format? And evaluate the process to analyze the information. Does the analysis provide meaningful information? Evaluate the process to report information. Does the means to share information need to be changed? Are the users receiving the right information on time? Are the formats for reporting adequate and accessible to the users? And is the level of reporting detail adequate to the needs of the users? Evaluate the process to use the information. How is the information being used? Is there any information that is not being used at all? How is the information helping the project meet its goals? Evaluate the process to evaluate the information. Is the project evaluating the process correctly? Is there a need for an outside expert? Has the project received feedback from all the stakeholders? And finally, the project also needs to evaluate the process to improve the information process. Is the process and the project implementing the changes to the project? And have the changes resulted in actual improvements? Gap analysis. The project team should be able to identify the gaps between the original plan and the results it received from the process and make any modifications to close those gaps. This can be found at the moment of analyzing the information received and comparing the analysis to the original questions asked by the project. For example, a project indicator was set to monitor the number of children that received vaccinations and disaggregate information by gender and age. During the analysis, the project team may discover that the data collected only accounted for gender and not age. The project should make the necessary changes to the process forms and reports to include this data on the next cycle. Gap analysis identifies the difference between the current state and the ideal or the desired state. Lessons learned. The project needs to have a formal process to capture the lessons learned in the information management process of the PMIS. This process ensures that the project staff are able to express their opinions about the areas that need improvement for the next project cycle or improvements for the next project. The process to capture lessons learned needs to be simple and inclusive, and it's a great opportunity for learning and improvement. The methodology for lessons learned follows a process in which the team first identifies what has been the strengths of the PMIS and then lists the areas of weaknesses of the PMIS. The team brainstorms the solutions to improve the process and develops an action plan to implement any changes to the process. The lessons are documented so other projects can take advantage of the experiences and knowledge the project produced. The project team needs to document the causes of the variances and the thinking behind the corrective action in order to enhance its ability to respond to future project challenges. The project enhances its ability to deliver its information by learning from previous experiences. A key indicator of the effectiveness of the PMIS comes from the actual uses of information. The project needs to capture or understand the user's satisfaction with the timeliness, quality, and relevance of the information they have received from the project. Users are not only the external stakeholders of the project, but also the internal users of the project who use information to guide them in reaching the project objectives. The ultimate evaluation comes from the information user, as the information serves their need not only to be informed, but to act based on the information received. If the information is late, of poor quality, not relevant, or in the wrong format, the user will not be able to act, or the actions taken might result in negative outcomes to the project, which can have serious consequences to the credibility of the project. The goal of evaluating the process is to improve the process. No good can be obtained by an evaluation report if no actions are taken to implement the changes and make improvements to the process so that the next project or information cycle produces better results. By improving the information lifecycle, projects can achieve a reduced time, cost savings, and greater stakeholder satisfaction. The objective is to improve everything in the process by encouraging everyone to take responsibility for the process.